Chelyabinsk is the administrative center of the Chelyabinsk region, a city with a population of over 1 million people. Naturally, such a large city requires extensive cemeteries. The largest of them is considered to be Gradsky Cemetery. Accordingly, it is here that most of the deceased residents of the regional capital are buried. The cemetery was opened in 1983, making it a relatively young necropolis. Gradsky grew rapidly and is now almost completely full. It's sometimes also referred to as Gradsky Cemetery, as it is located near a settlement of the same name. Geographically, the cemetery is situated near the Novogradsky Tract in the Korchatovsky district of Chelyabinsk. The cemetery is fenced along its entire perimeter, divided into sections, well maintained, and equipped with the necessary infrastructure, everything as required. Most burials are in the ground, occasionally in crypts. Many graves are in open areas, while some are located within a pine forest. There are also designated areas for burying urns with ashes after cremation. Near the central alley are the graves of honored citizens. Part of the necropolis is allocated for burials according to the Muslim rite. The cemetery stretches for more than a kilometer. The burials start almost immediately from the entrance, extending to the right, left, and down the center. According to the website of the Chelyabinsk Ritual Service, there are no free plots left for new graves. However, in reality, new burials still occasionally take place at Gradsky, though available space is visibly scarce. There are 6 other active cemeteries in Chelyabinsk where new burials can be conducted.
On Radonitsa, a traditional day of remembrance, observed on the 9th day after Easter in Russia, many people visit Gradsky Cemetery. Some arrive by car, and traffic jams can even form on the central alley. On this day, those caring for graves typically clean up leaves, branches, old reeds, and other debris, so large amounts of garbage quickly accumulate, and it's clear that cleanup services struggle to keep up. In cemeteries officially declared closed in Russia, only related reburials are permitted, placing a deceased person into an existing family grave. According to federal law, these spots are provided free of charge upon presenting documents confirming kinship with those already buried. However, a repeat burial requires the dismantling and later reinstallation of headstones and fences. Despite its relative youth, Gradsky Cemetery already has several historically significant graves. For instance, the graves of distinguished public figures can be found here. However, these are few. Other graves may draw attention because of unusual surnames or striking sculptures. One noticeable example is a man's grave with the surname Talisman. Another grave near the central alley stands out with a headstone featuring 2 white cherubs. Some graves show signs of long neglect, likely because their descendants have also passed away. Amidst well-kept graves, one can find rusty, old monuments, or the simplest graves without fences. Fallen leaves and branches have long remained untouched on these sites. On some older headstones, the names of the deceased have become illegible, and in places, no inscription remains at all. Sometimes, only a toppled wooden cross indicates that a person was once buried there.
A symbolic site at Gradsky Cemetery is the memorial to the victims of the 1989 Usher disaster, the largest railway catastrophe in the history of Russia and the USSR. which occurred on June 4, 1989, at the beginning of summer. The disaster happened on the Trans-Siberian Railway, in the Iglinsky district of the Bashkir Asa, 11 kilometers from the city of Usha Chelyabinsk region. During the passing of two passenger trains No. 211 Novosibirsk Adler and No. 212 Adler Novosibirsk, a powerful explosion occurred. It was caused by a cloud of light hydrocarbons that had leaked from a nearby pipeline western Siberia, Urals, Volga region. The two trains were practically destroyed. The catastrophe claimed 575 lives, 181 of them children. Among the victims were 9 players from the Tractor 73 youth hockey team, who were two-time USSR champions in their age category. Another 623 people were left disabled, and only 52 passengers from both trains survived unharmed. Eyewitnesses recalled that terrible night, saying people burned alive. Experts later compared the explosion's power to that of a nuclear blast. Train cars were thrown hundreds of meters, and the shockwave shattered windows in villages within a 20-kilometer radius. As later revealed, 3 hours before the disaster, pipeline sensors detected a drop in pressure. Instead of investigating, the duty personnel simply increased the gas supply to restore pressure. As a result, a large amount of propane, butane, and other flammable hydrocarbons leaked under pressure through a crack in the pipe, forming a so-called gas lake in a low-lying area. The Chelyabinsk victims of that catastrophe were buried at Gradsky and Sinkovoy Uspenskoy cemeteries. Thus, a memorial to the victims of the Usha disaster was established at Gradsky Cemetery. In a large open area among tall pine trees, 49 graves share the same date of death. The headstones are made in a unified style, each featuring the deceased's name and image, both photographs and etched portraits. The memorial is located to the left of the central alley, in section 16 of the cemetery. It's easy to find. An inscription on one monument reads, "To the innocent victims of the Usha railway disaster in passenger trains No. 211 and 212, 3.vi.89. On the reverse side of the monument on the central avenue, the following words are engraved: "It is beyond our power to bring you back, and our sorrow knows no end. The pain that tears us apart is immense. Our hearts are orphaned."